Hey y'all, it's Dana. Welcome back. I want to show you what I did. I crafted for a really long time last night, and it was really nice because a lot of times I don't, I don't spend all day in my craft room and things like that because I physically can't do it. It puts me in a lot of pain. But last night I sat here and I started working on all of those pieces that we had, that I had cut out, that I was trying to make journaling cards and stuff out of the one paper set, paper collection that I had dissected the rest of what was left and trying to tone down the bright colors. And before I knew it, I had sat here for like 3.5 hours crafting, and it was so nice. I paid for it today and my back's really hurting me from sitting at my craft table for that long, but I took my pain medication tonight and just kind of waited for it to take effect, and here I am and I'm back. But I wanted to show you how everything turned out because they turned out just even better than I expected. With all those bright colors, and I was so glad I did it. So I'm really excited tonight to work on this paper collection. So here, let me clear this so we can see a little bit better so it's not clashing with the stuff underneath it. This, I think, is my favorite tag. So that's this one. And I did end up using all of my little images of those little girls that I'd cut out of that book. So those are all completed too. So I'm like, wow, yay. But this one's my favorite. It just with the yellows and stuff. And I put a little gold ribbon at the top. Really cute. Here's another. Really, really cute. Here's another. This was the leftover. Both of these were leftover from Once Upon a Springtime. These are the last papers I had. And the ones I wanted to sew around, I went ahead and did that. Okay, so this was the very bright stripe we had in the background there. So using book page and things like that, I've got some flower lace down here, and I didn't have to back on because that's totally writable on there. And it wasn't like bright crazy colors. It's just like a very muted red stripe. Cute, right? Then we have this one. Now, and these butterflies, this little lace doily and stuff, these are all things I cut out of that paper collection. So they're all usable things. Even this little measuring tape is from that collection. This little ticket, measuring tape, butterfly, this measuring tape, all from that paper collection that was left of it. Really cute. This is a banner sticker, also from the stickers. I told you I cut out the stickers I thought I would use. Really, really cute. I was super happy how those turned out. Totally usable. Okay, these are a couple Tim Holtz scraps that I used. This is from that paper collection that I dissected, and I used it here because it matched her little dress here. And all I did was I took this, was a 4x8 scrap of Tim Holtz, and all I did was fold this bottom part up, and I'll just go ahead and do it on here because I'll probably just make one out of this. All I did was fold that up just like that, sewed around it. I rounded these top two corners, decorated here, so now I've got a little pocket that I'll end up putting probably little things in here because I don't want to cover up the picture too much, but just, I mean, little trims and stuff from the collection. So I made, these will be floating pockets. So I'll just clip those into a journal. So I made a couple of those. So I have 2 of those. And then all these journaling cards and tags. And those are all done. Now we can put those into our finished ephemera bin. So, the floating pocket, great idea. So I'll just, this one that I folded, I'll just make one out of that. I'll put those to the side, and I have all these Tim Holtz cutoffs left to use. But, you know, Tim Holtz is one of those ones where it's like, you can always make ephemera out of these. You do not have to work hard at it. So I'm not too worried about having these left, and I'll work on them from time to time and get those finished. So the only before I picked out, I'm gonna keep this up here because I'll make this one later. These are the only pieces that I have left of that collection. I have these left, and then in here I have stickers and little cut aparts and stuff from, I have all these little 1-inch yellow music things and just stickers, and this is all that will be left of that collection once we're done with these. So I've prepped these a little bit, and then I've picked out a paper collection because some of you guys had messaged me and said, hey, I'd love to see you cut apart and use kind of what's left of a collection. So we'll do that tonight. But I do have some ideas of what I want to do with these, and these will be just the, oh, and I have off to the right here, I'll push them over a little bit. These are all not this or this, but these tickets and little ruler things and stuff, these are also left from that collection. Not this, that's just a scrap. That's a scrap. So I have all of these usable little things that are left, and I'm going to keep them over here because we might want to use them for decorating some things. Okay, so what I've got is 2 4x12 strips that are left from that collection and 1 4x8. So what I've done ahead of time is I've backed each of these because they were very loud prints on the other side, backed them with papers that you could journal on. I want to make this one kind of a giant tag because even though it's 8 inches tall, that will fit. Let me just pull a journaling process. Grab a cover here. Okay, that'll totally fit in an inside front cover pocket. Not this journal, but another journal. So we'll make this a giant tag, and we'll do these other 2 first because they'll be easier to put together and decorate. So all we're going to do is we're going to fold this up. And I will sew around these 2 because I just used glue stick to put these liners in here, so I want to make sure they don't lift on the edges. So I will go ahead and sew around these. And then we'll just fold this part down. Really cute. And I think what I'll do is round these corners right here. So I'll have to re-ink those because I went ahead and inked ahead of time just to save us some time. And on the inside. And this will be a journaling spot, and I'll use it kind of like a belly band in a journal. So I'll glue it in my journal on this side and on this side, and we'll tuck a big tag behind it, and then that will open up for journaling in a journal. So we'll do that to both. So I'll just kind of, this is not directional, so I'll just kind of roughly make this kind of the same size as that one. Let me round these corners. It looks like I didn't ink the outside of this one, so we'll need to do that. Fold this down. And really the only decoration we need is something to kind of hold the flap closed, because that's a really pretty print. I don't mind that. I don't feel like it needs any other decoration. And this one too, it's cute little music paper with little colored hearts on it. So let's give this some ink. I don't really need to ink the back. I know that I inked the inside, so we don't need to do that. So really I just need to ink what's gonna show on the outside. I already did the inside, so we'll ink here. And then we'll ink this flap here. And those are quick and extremely usable. I love using these for my journals and putting these in my journals. They add a great journaling spot. And then you can put a tag behind it that has a journaling spot. There we go. Okay, so I am thinking flowers would be really cute right here. So let's see what I have in my flower bin. This one's really cute, but I'd prefer one with leaves on it. That's pretty, because we just want something where that's just gonna tuck underneath there. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know that I have any bigger embellishments made that we can use. I'm thinking these aren't really going to be strong enough because this is cardstock. So let's grab, oh, I know what we can grab. Let's grab some paper ruffles, and then we can put a flower on top of them. So these are just paper ruffles that I made. This is a little too neutral right here, but this one's great. It's got colors in it right here that kind of match. So I'm going to cut the neutral part off. Scissors. And we can definitely use this on something else, so I'll just put that in a bin. And I'm thinking we don't need a lot of it, just a little. You know, maybe even really like this much. Just not a lot. Just like that. And then where'd my flower go? And then we can put our little flower on top of it, and that's really cute. So let's do that. I'm gonna just ink this on the edges of the ruffles. And that's what I do. I use my strips of paper that I have left over, you know, the long strips that you end up with sometimes. And I just set that on top of a book page as I ruffle it into my sewing machine, and they're really cute. Okay. Oop, I don't want to throw that out. That's bling. Okay, so I'm just gonna put glue like on the bottom half of this, just under, right at the stitching. This will be cute. And make sure that I'm not catching I'm well below, so I'm not gluing this closed. I wonder if I kind of have a brighter flower that's not so neutral. Let's see what we have here. It's pink. Let me grab my lace flowers and get those out of my way so I can see. Let's see. Just looking for something a little bit brighter. Oh, here's one. That's pretty. We'll use that one. And so I'll just glue this on top of the ruffle. And that is really cute. A very cute piece of ephemera, and that didn't take any time at all. Of course, I lined it off camera, but still, it's as quick as that. And now we have that. That'll just hold that closed. But I am gonna put this over on my sewing machine because I'm gonna sew around the edges. Okay, that's really cute. Okay, that's one done. Okay, let's grab another piece of ruffle here. And again, this is just really great colors right here. I'm just gonna cut off the next little section. And I'll paper clip this back together. These are also, these paper ruffles, great for topping tags. Maybe I'll leave it out and we'll top our tag with it. So I'll just put this over here. We'll top that tag over there. And let's find maybe a brighter flower. This one's all pink. There's no white in it at all. So maybe this one will be good. Yeah. So let's use those. Put these away. ink our little ruffle. And just put glue just kind of up to, not over the stitching, but just up to the stitching here in the middle, just because I don't need a ton of glue, and I don't want to take the chance of gluing my thing shut. So this is all the glue we need. And make sure that you're clearing. So if I line up the stitch line with the edge of this part that flaps over, I don't know that my fold is even here. Not sure I'm going to be able to really fix that. Okay, we'll glue our flower down, and then I'll put it over by my sewing machine and I'll stitch around it. Oopsie. All right, so I'll show you guys those up close. Really cute. Very, very cute. Okay, I'll stitch around those. Those are done. Let's work on our tag really quick, and then we'll look at that. I'm gonna just cut this into a tag shape. And I'll ink that part there that I cut off. And I already inked the back. Ink the front. Let's see what kind of image that we've got here that we can use. And I'm thinking that the paper collection we're about to dissect, I think it's got some, I think it has some cut aparts in there that have some really cute images on them. So let's look at that. Let me kind of clean up here. We're gonna probably need this. Got stuff everywhere. And if we use an image from there, I won't use these. Just a totally different color scheme there. So let's set this tag aside, because I think we're going to be able to use something from that collection. And let's take a look at the collection that we're going to kind of look at. This is from Authentique. It's called Dreamy. And I bought this collection a really long time ago. I wonder if there's a date. 2019. So like 3 years ago. And I didn't really do a journal out of it. I just been using pieces here and there from it. And so I thought it would be a perfect one to kind of use up. Okay, so right away we've got this cover piece. And what I do first is kind of look at what I've got. Okay, so I would consider this a scrap that can be cut apart, because what we'll do is cut apart each one of these little colored sections here and these colored sections here, and we'll use those as layering scraps, like on tags, journaling cards, things like that. So that's a scrap. We've got quite a few little, and see, isn't it pretty? Really pretty paper, butterflies and stuff. Really, really cute. These would make good journaling card bases because you can write on the back. That's light enough. So we've got some scraps there. We've got some scraps here. Got scraps here. Here's another little scrap. And these are punch outs. It looks like these are not stickers, but punch outs. But look at these little girls, aren't they cute? Okay, so I'm gonna treat this like a sticker sheet and I'm gonna put it aside. Okay, we've got here's another little scrap. So this is what I do first, is take my scraps out, then I see what full sheets we have. We've got 2 full sets of cut aparts here. okay? So that can be journaling cards. And right away for our tag here, I'm looking at this, either this little girl here or this little girl here to be the focal point on our tag. So I'll put the tag aside. We know we need to take these to our trimmer and cut those apart. So I'll set those up there with the punch outs. So we have quite a few sheets of full-sized paper here. Not my favorite print. Okay, so let's look and see what's on the back. Okay, and that's really pretty. Okay, that's like a gray. Okay, so we have these two full sheets that I would like to use this side of it and cover this side with like backing papers. So we can even, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so we have those two. We have these two. That's a pretty loud plaid. This is pretty. It's like orange. I prefer this side. This side is a little loud. Okay, and then we have this stripe, one sheet of this stripe. Not my favorite either. That's probably why these pages are still sitting here. But this side's really pretty. Okay, so we have usable sides to those. Okay, so my thought is, let's put our scraps away first because we know we can layer, make cards and such out of these. So put these here for a second. Let's cut off our branding strips. There. Let's just get all these branding strips off. Because there's just, get these ready to go. Now, you know I only got a few pieces of ephemera done in our last video when we were together for over an hour. So this is definitely not something that I'll finish while we're together tonight. But I'll at least give you an idea of what I'm gonna do with them. Okay, let's throw our trash out. All our branding strips are off here. I'll cut the branding strips off the scraps as I use them. So my first kind of thought is these two pieces here. Okay, I love this side, this orange color. It's very light. It's not really bright. It's actually not showing up that well on camera. It looks more white than orange, but actually in person, it's more orange than white. And my first thought with this and with this one, these three pieces, is that the other sides are not my favorite, but they're not terrible, okay? I've got spring journals coming up. These are definitely usable as pages, especially if I use like a full page of ephemera on them to kind of knock back the print a little bit. So what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna go ahead and cut these, and all of them are non-directional, really. So I'm gonna cut these down to 8.5 by 11. So we'll end up with cutoffs that we can use. Okay, so I'm gonna cut them down to, I'm gonna turn this way, and I'm gonna go 8.5. by 11. These down, I can't see here. one thing, I love this trimmer, but the one thing I don't like about it is like the numbers on the left there on the arm are not printed on there. They're like embossed on there. So when the light hits it just right, you can't see it. Okay, so to start with, that's what we've done. We end up with these kind of scraps, and these are the kind of scraps that I was talking about I did my paper ruffles with. I'd cut them down a little narrower, but I would use these to make paper ruffles and they would be really pretty. So I'm gonna set these aside, even cutting them in half and using a 1/2 inch strip is probably what I'll do, and I'll layer them on some book page and do some paper ruffles out of these. So I'll set these on my sewing machine, and that's what we'll do with these strips. Okay, so we have these cutoffs here that I'm going to go ahead and put with my scraps. I'm going to take my scoreboard. I probably don't need to. It's not the thickest cardstock. So I'm going to cut these in half. I've cut them. I'm going to fold them in half. Grab my bone folder. And now you can see, even though that's a louder print, when you put a full piece of ephemera on it and you match it up like with a spring journal or something, that's gonna be fine. These aren't gonna sit next to each other. They're gonna sit next to like a coffee dyed piece of paper. And then, you know, you decorate it up with like one of these little cut aparts from the collection so it kind of matches, and it'll be great, which is probably what I'll do with this. And then what I'll do is just go ahead and clip, because this is a floating pocket, I'll just paper clip this piece of ephemera onto this, and I'll file it where I keep like pages that I've done that can be put in. When I go to put journals together, I go through there and see if there's any pages in there that I can use. Okay, so I'm going to set this with this so that we can do that. And again, I'll show you how it looks on here too, because I love this orange page. That's beautiful, just like it is. But see how that kind of just knocks that back when you clip that onto there? Okay. So these are done, and I'll put them where I store like pages that I can choose from when I'm putting together a journal. So that's what these will be. So we've got those taken care of. Okay, so this is what we have left, okay? I do not like this print at all. So I think what I'm gonna do here is cut tags out of one and journaling cards out of another. So we'll cut one into 4x6 strips. So I'll cut this at 6. And I'll stack them together and cut at 8. And then at 4. Okay, so that gives us 6 journaling cards that we can work with, and that is a very neutral background. You can put pretty much anything. This will match anything, go with anything. It's so neutral. So what I'll do is just in my spare time is I'll back these with coffee dyed paper, with, you know, I used on here ledger paper and grid paper. So just some backing paper, and I'll back these and sew around them, and that way they'll be ready to decorate. So we've got 6 journaling cards. Okay, and I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna cut it at 6. My favorite size tag is 3x6. So I'm gonna cut that at 6, stack them together. And then I'm gonna cut at 9. And I'm gonna cut at 6. And then at 3. Okay. I'm going to take one of them and cut the tag corners. Just like this. And then I'll run through and use this as a guide. I'm going to turn it over so I can make sure that I can see well enough. And then I'll cut the rest, I'll clip the rest of the corners. Just using that first one as a guide. So I have 6 journaling cards and 8 tags ready to go and be decorated. So I'll do the same thing for these. I'll run through and back them, stitch around them, and then they're ready to be decorated. Okay, so we have those. Now we have our scraps. So let's take the nice big ones. These are cut-offs from what we just did for our pages. So I'm gonna put, these are 3.5. So I can take these and, let's see, what do I wanna do with these? Might be, we can maybe make some pocketed tags. Let's do that. So if I fold these up and you do a pocket at about like this, just eyeballing it for a pocket. And then maybe cut it at, this is 6. Let's see what that looks like. Let's go like 6.5. So this leaves us with a little scrap that I'll probably just throw in my scrap bin, but as I'm working with this collection, I'll keep it out. Okay, and I don't mind this stripe here, right? Because anything we put in our tag then is going to pretty much cover that up. Okay, so let's cut these other 2 at 6.5. Oh, I did that wrong. It was 6.5 after I folded it. So I just ruined that. Okay, so 6.5, and what I'll do is I'll create a pocket on here with these scraps. So that's what I'll do with those because I messed up. So I'm going to use one of these tags just as a guide to cut my corners, just to get my tag shape. And then I'll use this to cut my corners of my other ones. And we'll go ahead and do pockets and get those glued together. And what I'll do is I'll just get all my bases made and then I'll decorate them another time. So I have this one made. I'm not going to glue this down. Well, yeah, I can. I'll glue it down now and I'll ink it later, but I'll ink this part first. Actually, let's go ahead and punch a little pocket thumb hole right there. So I'll just ink that part. Okay, so what do we want here What did this measure height-wise? It looks like it was about 2 3/4 for that. So let me cut 2 pieces. We're the right width already, but we need it to be 2 3/4. And then 2 3/4. Put these with our little scraps over there. Okay, let's punch our thumb holes. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and use the orange. Do I want to do it this way? I think I want to use the orange side, because then I can back these for journaling and cover this up, and then we'll use our decorations to kind of cover up that plaid. I don't mind this one as much. And then we have blue on the back, and you can journal on that, so I don't need to do anything with that one. Let's go ahead and cut our thumb hole here. And we'll ink these and glue them down. And that way we have these kind of ready to go. Okay, so we've got some little pocket tags to use here. Let's glue these on, and I'm just going to glue this on 3 sides. I need to refill my glue. That. I'll line this up at the bottom of my tag. Like that. And then when we decorate that, it'll cover up a lot of that plaid. And then I'll cover up the back of that with some backing paper. Okay, let's do this one. I already inked it. Line this up here at the bottom. And I will probably sew around these too. All right, so we've got all of those journaling cards and tags, plus now we have 3 pocket tags. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Close up my glue. Okay, that's too small to do anything with. That's too small, so is this one. I'm just take, as we look at things, I'm going to take branding strips off. Pull all the papers out here. Okay, this is really pretty. It's got butterflies on it. Let's see what this measures. This is 3 inches. Let's do some 3x5 journaling cards. Out of this butterfly paper. Put that with our little scraps. Okay, so a couple of little journaling cards, or they can even be pockets. They're 5 inches. Let's do pockets. Let me just go ahead. They're really pretty butterflies. So let me just make sure this is not directional. Nope. Cut some notches so that I know that it's a pocket. Okay, so we've got 2 pockets that we can decorate. Okay, here's a strip that's just going to be for decorating purposes. Okay, this is a really beautiful floral scrap here. I think it's probably the same size as the other one. Yeah, it's 3 inches. Let me set that aside for a second. think I'd like to do with this one is cut this down to 8 1/4. A page height is 8 1/2. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 1/4. Get that little scrap. Okay, I'm going to put a notch in it. There's not really a direction. I'm going to eyeball the middle here. Okay, and that can be a side pocket on a page, and we can decorate that up with some lace. So we have this scrap. Okay, this measures 5 inches. So this is 5 inches. Let's do, okay, hang on. Let's get the rest of these broken apart here. So we've got both of these that look like they're about 5 inches. I've got a couple of ideas here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 4 3/4. It's not quite the same, but that's okay. Okay. So I'm thinking this would be really cute as like a pocketed belly band. And we could probably get a couple out of each one. We could do one that's vertical and a couple that are horizontal. Okay, so here's what I mean. Let's do 5. A page is 5 1/2 wide. So let's do 5. Cut this at 5 inches. And then another one at 5 inches, so we can get 2 out of here. And then I'm going to cut this one at 8 1/4. I can actually do just 8 1/2 because that's the size of a page. We end up with this, which could be a little journaling card. So let's put that over here. That can be a journaling card. Okay, so let's do this one. This one's the one that is 8 1/4. I mean 8 1/2. We can use this as a belly band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over, but not all the way. Kind of line that up. And then I'm going to ink this here. I love those butterflies. Really pretty. This was a really pretty collection. And as you can see, I kind of used up all of the parts of it that I really loved, and I just had scraps left plus some sheets that I wasn't super fond of. And I think that's what ends up happening to all of us, is once we're kind of done with our favorite pieces, then we have these scraps left and we're like, I don't know what to do with the rest of those, you know? So these are good ideas for us to go ahead and use the rest of that to get it out of our stash. Okay, so I have this all inked up now, and I'm going to glue this pocket down. And this is the base for us to decorate this. I'll glue that pocket down. Let me grab one of our pages and I'll just show you. Because these are the same collection, so it looks really nice on here. So this will be our belly band for that page. So I'll glue at the top and the bottom, and then we can slip a journaling card underneath the belly band, and then we've got a pocket too that we can put something in. Really cute. So that can go in the pile to be decorated now. And we're essentially going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to fold them up leaving a little bit of space. And essentially we're doing the same thing as we did here, but this one will go horizontally on the page where we can fit something in the, or a couple of little things, and maybe some little ephemera pieces or something like that. And then we can fit a big tag in the back, like that. So we'll get this inked up. And the other one inked up and glued together. Don't need to ink the back because it's going to be glued down on a page. And we can just glue our pocket down here. And also around these too, because I think that's going to enhance the look on these. Especially these pieces that are going to be a focal point on the page. I like to be able to sew around them. Okay, so there's that one. Do this one here. Oh, that's got a pretty little butterfly right there. It's going to be upside down. That's okay. I don't care that it's upside down. Still really pretty, and I'd rather it be there than not, and plus our decorations are probably going to cover that anyway. I don't want to do too much decorating to this one because I love that floral print. It's really, really pretty. Okay, we'll glue our sides down. And something like these pages here that I just did out of this collection, the 3 pages we did, I might even go ahead and glue these belly bands down on these 3 pages. We did 3 belly bands, so we can do 2 here. And then here's the 3rd page, like this, and then I'll stick those into my stash of pages, and I already have belly bands on them. Okay, so those are ready. And now all we really have left are scraps, like small scraps. I don't really know what I would do with these quite yet. Until I'm done decorating these, because like this has, remember this stripe has this beautiful blue on the other side, and we have all these tags and journaling cards that need to be decorated. So I'll save these like they are, especially these small ones. Okay, so we have those. Now we have this piece that was kind of the cover of the collection. And it's got these nice little bits here that can be cut out to use as scraps. So let's do that. They've got these tall ones here and then these small ones here. So I'm just gonna run through like with my scissors, and I'm gonna cut these apart. I see like that's not my favorite. So I'll pitch it. I don't like it, but these ones are good. Layering pieces. So we'll put those with our scrap here. And this size scrap, if I don't use them by the time I'm done decorating this, I will throw these out. That's the kind of size that I would throw out. Okay, let's split these apart. And these don't have any of those circle prints on it, so they're all kind of usable to me. Although this feather one isn't really my favorite. but depending on what it's used with, we'll just have to see how it looks. Okay, so all of our scraps for layering pieces are all ready to go. All I have left to do is cut these cut-aparts out, because these are going to be journaling cards just in and of themselves that just need a little bit more decoration, like some washi, maybe, I don't know, some stickles, something like that. Like I would put a butterfly here. It says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, she became a butterfly. I would probably take one of my butterflies and actually put a butterfly on here. These are great focal points for journaling cards, things like that. So these need to be cut apart. I won't do that on camera. I'll do that off camera. And then we have all of these, which are punch outs. So what I'm gonna do is just run through and I'll punch all of those out, put them up here with my scraps so that I can use them when I'm decorating all of this. So let's recap kind of what we did here. And this is what we got out of how many pieces? We had 3 full pieces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full pieces of 12 by 12s. We made 3 journaling pages. We made 6 journaling cards. We've got 8 tags. Oh, here's one of our journaling cards. We've got 8 tags. We've got 3 pocket tags. We've got 2 pockets. We've got a side pocket, another little journaling card, and we have 1 vertical belly band and 2 horizontal belly bands. That's what we have. And then we've got our little scraps, and we've got 2 full pages of cut aparts that can be used for journaling cards and focal points. And that's how I broke up the rest of this collection. So I hope this was helpful. This is fun for me. I love doing this. It makes me feel very satisfied once it's all decorated and they're put in my ephemera bin. And I have this empty cellophane bag to throw away. And that collection is out of my stash. And just to show you, as I went through my papers, these are all the collections that I pulled that are partials. This is not paper pads. These are paper collections. So I have all of these left to do this with. So it will be a process. And then we made these 2 ephemera pieces too that I need to sew around. So very productive, very, very productive. Well, I hope this helped you guys. I hope you had fun. Thanks for sitting with me and helping me get through another paper collection. And I'll spend the next couple of days decorating all that we have cut apart here. And I'll make sure and show them to you in the next video. So until then, I hope you guys have a blessed day. God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.